What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Everybody out there is doing well. And welcome back. Welcome back, Cotter. It is another episode, and I appreciate everybody out there for checking out the podcast. I really do. There's 1,000 podcasts out there that you could be listening to or watching. And I try to make this into video form for YouTube, so if you want to watch it, you can. I'm kind of upset at YouTube. The last video I uploaded about the Super Bowl, they marked it as QAnon. And I've been very vocal about my support against QAnon. But I guess if you question anything about the Super Bowl or anything that the mainstream media does, you're part of QAnon. So, but I would kind of like to have QAnon views. I don't know if you've seen these channels on YouTube. They have like hella views. They have like 300,000 or 400,000 views a day, probably even millions at this point. That's cool if you believe that. That's cool if you're into that. Not hating on anybody, but I'm just saying that'd be nice. But I wanted to give a big shout out before I start the show to my based governor here in Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt. And this is a couple days ago. But he signed a bill or an executive order to protect the oil and gas industry from a Washington power grab. So, and this is actually going viral. It was, I don't know if anybody's on the app iFunny, but it was featured today on iFunny. And that's where I saw it. I feel I've been off of social media, but I've been on there about every day to keep up. And there's a lot of conservative content on iFunny. And you can, there's a lot of stuff featured on there. There's like Trump memes and anti-Biden memes on there. It's pretty interesting. I finally got back on there. And, but anyway, I'm not on social media, but I guess that's my new social media. I do check Twitter, but it was getting to the point where I was using it way too much. But if you're in California or New York and you're looking for a new home, come to Oklahoma. I know a real estate agent, and they said that they are getting people from all over, like California, New York, buying up property here. So people are getting out of Dodge. And it's pretty much normal here. There's no, I think I saw an article a couple days ago. I think Oklahoma is going to be the first to reach herd immunity. Like a lot of people a lot of people hate Governor Stitt for some weird reason, but he never signed the mask mandate. He's not against mask, and I'm not against mask either, but this whole cult about the mask thing, it's a cult. And we'll get into that into this show. So I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I have 50 million tabs open on my computer. And hopefully it doesn't freeze, because I recorded a podcast last week, and my computer just shut down. And I went back and tried to find the recording. It was gone. So, I don't know. But I got some good news for you. Racism is gone. Racism has been cured. They took the black lady off of the pancake syrup, and now Aunt Jemima is now Pearl Milling Company, which I think that was the original name or something. It says since 1809 or 1889. But I'm still gonna call it Aunt Jemima. It's just like Lady Antebellum and like the Dixie Chicks. It's still the original name. So I'm not gonna buy Aunt Jemima. I'm not gonna buy this brand. on purpose because I don't want to support. I don't support cancel culture. I don't like cancel culture on any side of the fence. It doesn't really matter what it is. So I'm the type of guy that syrup is syrup, unless you're buying like a really expensive brand, like real syrup. But I buy the great value syrup. I don't really care. I don't really like sweet stuff for breakfast, so I'm more of an bacon and eggs kind of guy. But I know the impeachment trial was going on this week, or yesterday, I guess. And, I'm not going to keep you guys updated on that. You can go check it out if you want. It's just a waste of time, okay? But I did find a video, and I'm going to play it here, of a clip of the impeachment trial. Take a look.
And everyone can see immediately why this is so dangerous. It's an invitation to the president to take his best shot at anything he may want to do on his way out the door, including using violent means to lock that door.
If you're listening, it's not the impeachment trial, obviously, but it is a joke. But apparently this lawyer, they were on a Zoom call. It was a Zoom call court hearing or whatever, and this lawyer had a cat filter on a Zoom. I didn't know you could have a cat filter. I didn't know Zoom had filters. That's just stupid.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that.
Let's talk about, speaking of breakfast food, let's talk about Cracker Barrel. Now, this idiot on Twitter went viral and put this on Twitter. And he used the caption, "Did y'all know this?" And it's a picture of a Cracker Barrel billboard. And it said cracker was the slang term for whip. That's why blacks called whites crackers, from the crack of the whip. A Cracker Barrel is a barrel that is held the whips for sale at the grocery or at the country store. You see the whip going from the R to the K. Racism in your face. Now, with a simple Google search, I found that that's not the real story behind Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is named from a literal barrel of saltine crackers. That's how they got their name. Where people would go to the general store, the country store, and sit around the barrel and talk about whatever. And it does look like, I guess if you want to use some mental gymnastics and stretch it all the way around until your head hurts and try to connect the dots and try to connect that, oh, that's a whip. But no, it's just a design thing. But anyway, the point is, Cracker Barrel is probably going to get canceled over this. And they're probably going to have to change their name. What is it going to be? The Barrel? It's like a couple years ago, Pizza Hut just all of a sudden changed their name to The Hut. Do you sell pizza anymore? They sell everything. I didn't know they sold beer. I ordered beer one time from Pizza Hut, and they brought out this I should have just went to the store. And I don't drink, but I was like, you know what sounds really good? a beer and some pizza. Like, that sounds really good. And then they made me sign this document. Like, it was like I was getting summoned to court or something. But they show up at my door, and they're like, here, you have to sign this document. 2 pages of, like, document stuff, like, basically don't drink and drive and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But I'm never going to do that again. Because, first of all, I don't drink that much, but I thought it sounded pretty good. But anyway, this is stupid. People are making up fake stories. And it's probably going to get Cracker Barrel canceled. Absolutely stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's talk about this Tessica Brown lady. If you don't know who she is, you've probably seen her around the internet today or this week. She superglued, or she put Gorilla Glue in her hair instead of hairspray. She was out of hairspray. So she put Gorilla Glue in her hair. And now she's threatening to sue Gorilla Glue. And she has a... Like, this woman is from Louisiana. But she has a plastic surgeon from Beverly Hills is offering to give her plastic surgery for free. And also, people are donating to her GoFundMe. And as of 11 o'clock on Tuesday night, Tuesday the 9th, she has almost 17 grand. And it's probably more because this was like 30 minutes ago when I got this link up. But people are donating to her. This lady said, I donated just so I could thank you for making me laugh so much. Hey, you know, whatever. I mean, I get it. People make mistakes. But the point is, I just think it's stupid that people are donating to her and she's threatening to sue a company. And this is what Gorilla Glue, the official Twitter. We were very sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident that Mrs. Brown experienced using our spray adhesive on her hair. We're glad to see in our recent video that Miss Brown has received medical treatment from our local medical facility. We wish her the best. We are aware of the situation and we're very sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident that Mrs. Brown, I think I just read that. Our spray adhesive states in a warning label, do not swallow, do not get in eyes or skin or on clothing. A lot of legal, I think I saw on social media somewhere, on Twitter, a lot of legal experts, like her attorney is going to argue, and this is so stupid, but they're going to argue that, oh, it doesn't say don't put in the hair. It just says don't swallow or don't put in the eyes or skin. But it said nothing about the hair. Oh, it's just so stupid. It is used for craft, home, auto, office projects, or to mount things. So, absolutely stupid. So here's a video from her TikTok that got...
Hey y'all, for those of y'all that know me know, my hair has been like this for about a month now. It's not by choice. No, it's not by choice. When I do my hair, I like to, finish it off with a little Got to Be Glue spray. Just to keep it in place. Well, I didn't have any more Got to Be Glue spray, so I used this. Gorilla Glue spray. Bad idea. Yo, look, my hair, it don't move. You hear what I'm telling you? It don't move. I've washed my hair 15 times and it don't move. Stiff wear. Woo! My hair. So I'm going to tell y'all like this. If you ever run out of Got to Be Glue spray, don't ever use this. Unless you want your hair to be like that. Hey, y'all.
So anyway, this TikTok got like 30 million views or something like that. Stupid. But she's threatening to sue the company. I mean, if I were her, I would just cut my losses and go home. It's great that she's getting help, I guess. I still think it's stupid that people are actually supporting stupid behavior. I mean, she got $13,000 in a day. People are actually donating to this. But if I were working for the marketing department at Gorilla Glue, I would say, why don't we give her a settlement thing? But you have to be a spokesman. You have to be a spokesman for our product. That's what I would do. I don't think she would go along with that because I think it is kind of embarrassing. But at this point, I think people are already making fun of her. Might as well go another step. So that's just stupid. Speaking of ridiculous things, let's talk about this. If it'll load. Mark Cuban is not going to play the national anthem anymore. Basically, I guess they haven't been playing it at the last 13 games. So he's not going to play it anymore. I don't know. It's just interesting. But this is like, I'm not a big fan of cancel culture, but this is something that if I were a Dallas Maverick fan, basketball, I would pull my support 100%. Like, I don't like a lot of conservatives will get mad at me for saying this, but kneeling wasn't really that big of an issue for me. It's just not a hill that I'm going to die on. But this is something that I think that, yeah, I'm going to pull my support. Because this is bullshit. This is not China. Even though the NBA has some serious ties to China. But, like, this is America. Not playing the national anthem? Are they crazy? So this is something that, yeah, I'm gonna pull my support from. An outspoken Mavericks owner told ESPN last July of the potential of his team players to kneel during the anthem. If they were taking a knee and they were being respectful, I'd be proud of that, and he hoped he would join them. He later tweeted in response to what he called the national anthem police, and if critics of the nonviolent protest of systematic racism of the U.S. took issue, that they could complain to their boss and ask why they don't play the national anthem every day. But it's not the same thing. Now, I totally understand, like, a basketball game is totally different than, like, your regular day job. And that's why I see conservatives' point in this whole kneeling thing. Like, you're not going to go to your boss and say, I don't agree with your policy. I'm going to protest. I'm going to kneel today. I totally understand it, but at the same time, the national anthem shouldn't be a political thing. It should be... And I guess he's doing this because he doesn't want the controversy that he got, or the backlash he got for having his players kneel. So he's like, well, might as well just not play it, so there's no opportunity for them to kneel or not kneel. So, I don't know. It's just so stupid. 2021 is a hell of a year so far. Let's look at this. The Who, not the band, The Who is saying that COVID is unlikely to have been leaked from a China lab. And they're basically saying that it's definitely from a bat. It's definitely from a bat. Don't question anything. So, that tells me that it's definitely have been leaked from a Chinese lab, because they're like, according to China, this didn't happen. You can go read this article, but it's just so stupid. This is okay. I'm going to talk about this lady, Mayor Jane Castor, said this the other day. Check it out.
Everyone knows that simply wearing a mask dramatically reduces the spread of COVID-19. And I'm proud to say that the majority of individuals that I saw out and about enjoying the festivities associated with the Super Bowl were complying. You know, we had tens of thousands of people all over the city, downtown, out by the stadium, Ybor City, down here in Channelside, and very, very few incidents. So I'm proud of our community, but those few bad actors will be identified, and the Tampa Police Department will handle it. There just has to be that level of personal responsibility. You can supply everyone with a mask, advise them of the science behind it, and expect that they are going to abide by the mask order. Again, you're going to find a few that don't. The majority that I saw were wearing masks.
She said that the police will handle the situation and the Super Bowl will be identified, or the fans at the Super Bowl will be identified. What are they going to do? Like a China, like surveillance thing? Like over in China, they spy on everybody. They can see who's walking down the street, and they can see what their social score is and all this crap. They can look at, you know, who they are, and they know exactly who's walking around. And that's great. That's great. But here she is. I don't know when this was. I think this was like a few months ago. This is her not wearing a mask. And this is her in October at a fundraising event. And she's violating her own mask mandate. But what's interesting is that it's always like it's never, like, these people are never calling out like the BLM protest. It's very interesting. It's always, you know, a football game, or it's always a Trump rally. And, you know, CNN, like, they sent their anchors down there. We all saw that viral clip. I don't have it pulled up, but you can go check it out. But the CNN anchor was criticizing people down there not wearing masks. And they were outside being normal. And, you know, even the governor, he's like, you don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. And if you're that scared, don't go to the game. Don't go to the freaking game. Like, it's that simple. So, you know, I'll start wearing masks when these governors and the president and also the mayors, everybody, all the leadership involved, I'll start wearing a mask when they start wearing one. But until then, no. And they don't help anyway. And, you know, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If you have a good argument, prove me wrong. But a cloth mask does nothing at all. Speaking of masks, let's talk about this article. Dr. Fauci, our America's favorite doctor, went on Brett Baier, and he said this. Take a look at this. He says, we're going to have to wear masks until the level of the virus is so low that it's not a threat. So basically, forever. I have this video pulled up.
Last thing, watching the Super Bowl last night, kudos to the NFL. They got the season through, and it was exciting to watch. But is there going to be a time when we're going to be no masks? When is that time? If you had to guess, going to a sports game, going to a theater, going to a concert without a mask?
You know, Brett, that will really be dependent upon how we get the level of virus in the community down. If we can get, and I have used this as an estimate, it's not definitive, that if we can get 70 to 85% of our population vaccinated and get to what we would hope would be to a degree of herd immunity, which really is an umbrella or a veil of protection against the community, where the level of virus is so low, it's not a threat at all, then at that point you could start thinking in terms of not having to have uniform wearing of masks. But we're certainly not near there yet. When do I think that would occur? You know, it's very difficult to predict, Brett, but if everything falls into the right place and we get this under control, it is conceivable that you might be able to pull back a bit on some of the public health measures as we get into the late fall of this year. But there's no guarantee of that, because if we don't get the overwhelming majority of the population vaccinated, there's still going to be a considerable amount of virus in the community. And as long as that's the case, Brett, people are going to have to wear masks.
Yeah. And, you know, because of what we're doing with coronavirus, we haven't heard a lot about the seasonal flu. We lose 30 to 60,000 people from the flu.
Yeah, the flu is gone. All these other diseases, these viruses, took a vacation last year. It's very phenomenal. It's very interesting. But also he said that even I'm trying to keep track of everything he's talking about, but even, I think he said here a while back, or the CDC said here a while back, that even if you get the vaccine, you'll still have to wear a mask. But now he's saying, oh, if 70 to 80% of people get the vaccine, you can take off the mask. Okay, this guy is off the rails with just flip-flopping back and forth.
Has that gone down dramatically?
Extraordinarily dramatically, Brett. And in fact, that is a very good testimony to the efficacy of wearing masks, avoiding congregate settings, and keeping distance, because we did that during this late fall, early winter, and the level of influenza in the community is remarkably low regarding comparisons to other years. Our Australian colleagues had the same experience during their winter.
Why? Because everything is COVID. A guy falls off a ladder, he dies of COVID. A guy gets shot, it's COVID. Commits suicide, COVID. Everything's COVID. It doesn't really matter what they have or what it is. Everything, every death in the past year is COVID.
Which is essentially our summer. When I was talking to my colleagues in Australia, they were saying, Tony, we don't have hardly any flu this year, and we think it's due to the fact that people are wearing masks, keeping their distance, and avoiding congregate settings. Goes to show you that those types of public health measures actually work.
Okay, I don't buy any of that. I don't buy any of that at all. I find it very hard to believe that wearing a mask is going to stop a virus. And the reason why the flu numbers are so low is because even if it's the flu, they count it as COVID. Now, I'm not a doctor, don't listen to me. Maybe you might want to listen to him. I don't know, but this is not a medical show. Go get your medical advice from your actual doctor that knows you. And he hasn't seen a patient in 20 years. So don't listen to me or him. That's just my advice. Speaking of mask, this guy in Kentucky, they were doing a press conference or something, and the camera cut to him, and he didn't put his mask on in time.
The very best information.
Good afternoon, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone.
The very best information.
Jesus Christ. even the let's watch that again.
Good.
Watch the sign language lady. And what's the deal with these sign language people? I mean, come on. it seems like in the past year they've ramped that up. I get it, but it's just like, I don't know. And like, he's in his house. I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, it's a guy who is on a Zoom call. He's in his house. There's no scientific evidence out there that wearing masks inside your house is needed. This guy's an idiot. I don't know who that is. This the guy? Steven Stack from Kentucky is an idiot. Okay, sorry. Let's talk about this Dolly Parton situation. Dolly Parton is being canceled for having her Super Bowl commercial. I thought it was kind of clever, because I went back and listened to 9 to 5, and I'm not the biggest Dolly Parton fan, to be honest with you, but I like Dolly Parton. But if you don't know, she had this Super Bowl commercial, and the Super Bowl commercial on YouTube was getting like destroyed with dislikes. You can go look at it on the official Squarespace YouTube. But basically, it was like a reimagine, like a renewed version of her 9 to 5 song. Basically, she just flipped that around and made a new song called 5 to 9. Basically, the idea of that is just like people now in 2021 can't rely on one source of income. They have to have a second job, or a third job, or maybe a fourth job. And so the idea of starting up a second side hustle or a side hustle is pretty common. And so Squarespace, if you don't know, it's a website builder. You can go there and it's a pretty cool. I've used it in the past for my websites. But basically, it's after you get done with your 9 to 5, you start your 5 to 9 hustle. But people are destroying her over this commercial. This is NBC News. Where did it say this? Something about it's a perfect storm of gig economy propaganda. So basically, she's getting criticized for promoting this idea of if you want something in life, you have to work for it. It's just stupid. And a lot of conservatives didn't like Dolly Parton. I just want to say this as well. A lot of conservatives didn't like Dolly Parton because she didn't accept the presidential award or something like from Trump. And she also said that she's not going to accept it from Biden either. So, but anyway, here's what NPR says. Much as we all love Dolly Parton, she may have crossed the line on this one, retooling her upbeat hit about surviving the workday 9 to 5 into a chirpy tune, or take on a depressing reality of modern workplaces. It's a trippy tribute to those who use the website building company Squarespace to promote the side business they really care about when the clock strikes 5 on their soul-crushing day job. Awesome as it is to see a computer-generated Dolly winking from a magazine during the spot, is it appropriate to make people's desperate need for a side job look fun? That's the whole point of a freaking commercial, is selling them on this idea of that it's a fun thing to do. It's not going to be easy. Nothing's easy, but Dolly Parton's Super Bowl commercial is playing the rich man's game. I mean, you can go read this dumbass article. I'm not going to read it, but you can go check it out. It's on NBC News and NPR. Go look at what these idiots are pushing. Absolutely retarded. It's just so stupid. Speaking of country music, let's talk about Morgan Wallen for a second. We all know what happened. But I think I find it very interesting that even after, and I apologize for the stuff on the side. This is nasty. The stuff on the side. These ads. This is savingcountrymusic.com. I was trying to find a website that might be a little bit factual, other than Fox News or CNN, but according to Billboard, sales for Morgan Wallen's music has increased almost 400%. I saw that his albums, his streaming. If you don't follow this Country Central on Instagram, he's getting more streams from 1/29 to February 4th. He's getting more streams in that period than Luke Combs and Chris Stapleton combined. He is the number one artist right now on Billboard. I mean, I think I saw somewhere 25,000 copies, and people are buying his older music and things like that. And I just want to point out that since he's suspended from his contract, I was reading some stuff. There's a Rolling Stone article. I don't have it pulled up, but I was thinking, like, I don't really understand what being suspended from your contract means. I looked it up. Rolling Stone did an article, and a lot of legal experts are saying we don't really know, because they don't really have his contract right there. But there is a possibility that they're holding the money whenever you go buy, like when you go buy stuff on iTunes, like if you go buy my music, which I have an album out, if you're interested, I'm working on new music, by the way. If you go buy my music, I don't see that money until, like if you buy it right now, I won't see that money until April or May, probably. So, but the difference between me and Morgan Wallen is there's a lot of difference. Talent, and I'm saying he has a lot of talent. I'm not. Mine's okay, but I'm still working on my stuff, getting good. But I'm getting there. But I mean, I appreciate the fans that people like listening and stuff like that. But I get 100% of my stuff. But Morgan Wallen, whenever you buy the album, it's going to go to the label. And so there's a possibility that they're going to hold the money, hold his royalties back until he's not suspended anymore. But they're not going to cancel him over this. Like, he's going to come back in like 6 months because he's making a fuck ton of money for these labels. Like, they're not going to let him go. Like, they're not. I mean, especially after this. Oh my God. I mean, like, I think the best line of that article is a Rolling Stone article. They created a monster, but they can't let the monster go because the monster's making them money. I love that line because it's so true. What I think is, like, what he said is wrong. Absolutely. And a lot of people are saying, oh, he's an outlaw. Maybe. I definitely agree that country music is soft, really soft. I mean, especially if you go back and listen to like David Allan Coe. I mean, if he would have come out today and make the music that he made, he would get canceled in 5 seconds. And I'm pretty sure back in the day he got canceled pretty hardcore, but not as much as if he would do today. If you don't know who David Allan Coe is, very R-rated lyrics, but I'll just put it at that. Just go check his music out. But I find it interesting that cancel culture is not going to work with this guy. They're not going to let him go. I really do like his album, and I'm still processing his album. I'm still listening to it. Right now my jam is Cover Me Up. Now I do like the original Jason Isbell version, but it's his version's pretty good as well. But what's interesting, I can't find his bonus deal. He released this 30-track album, and then he released a bonus with 2 extra songs on iTunes. So I don't know if iTunes took that off, maybe, but it's on Spotify. So, and, you know, like I said, I don't know how his contract is set up, but I do know that a lot of people are buying a crap ton of stuff from his website and people buying his digital downloads, which is great. And this is only going to help him. Because of this, he's probably going to come back. Like, they can't let this guy go, like I said. And I'm not really the biggest Morgan Wallen fan, but I actually like him more. But, like, I do understand, like, this whole thing, like, oh, it makes you look like a racist if you go and buy his music. No, I mean, I don't think that's a good argument. I think that people just hate cancel culture. People just hate the fact that people can use this word, just depending who you are, who you voted for. People can use this word and not get away with it. But since it's Morgan Wallen, I think, like, I want to know who this neighbor is. That's what I'm thinking. I want to know who this neighbor is. And I have a conspiracy theory that maybe somebody in Nashville got jealous of Morgan because he's been big for like a year or two. Huge. Maybe they're jealous of Morgan. Maybe they just wanted to try to take him down. Maybe he's the Trump of Nashville. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows about that? Well, that's the end of the show, guys. I really appreciate everybody out there for listening. I've been taking a break off of social media, and it's the best thing in the world. I recommend it to everybody out there. I used to spend a lot of time on social media. Not so much these days, but if you want to help support the show, I just feel better. I just feel better. Like this past week, I just felt like really good. And so, like I said, I'm going to keep up the podcast every Wednesday and just go from there. But if you want to support the podcast, you can head over to Okie Patriot 76. And I've been really digging like this mug right here. It's really good for like milk and cookies. So there's different purposes. It's not just for coffee. If you're not a coffee drinker, okay, buy this mug, get this mug, and you can have your milk and cookies. It's a really good milk and cookies, like Oreos. Like I'm a food guy, okay. I like to eat, especially sweets, and so any kind of cookie, get the milk. You know, it's really good for that. And I should have had it. I should have had it ready, but I don't have it right here. But it's pretty small. It's like this big, maybe like this big, and that tall. But it also has some coffee. So if you want to support the podcast, I still have hoodies. Still have, if you want to warm up. It is actually freaking freezing right now in Oklahoma. So if you want to warm up this winter, got some new beanies. So anyway, head over there, check out the store if you want to do that. Give me your thoughts about everything that's going on in the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a great Wednesday. Be sure to leave a rating or hit subscribe or wherever you do that. Whatever you want to do. Have a great day.